All right, folks. So I have gotten to about page 53 of the 152 page confession of Brendan Dassey on March 1st of 2006. And I got to say, there are a couple little details that might make me question Brendan's story. But on the other hand, there's an overwhelming amount of evidence that this was a coerced confession. And one of those main points is that Fassbender keeps questioning Brendan about seeing Teresa talk to Steve on the porch and about what time over and over again. Are you sure? Are you 100% sure that you saw her standing there talking to Steven at 3:45 in the afternoon? Blah, 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 blah. And, folks, this whole thing is just sneaky. It's just sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Then he keeps trying to talk Brendan into admitting that he helps. Are you sure that's all you saw? Did you help tie her up? Yada, yada. And Brendan keeps coming back with, no, I didn't touch her. And the thing is that Brendan keeps trying to insist on this because he knows that the narrative that he's spewing out is BS. And he's trying to resist it. He's trying to keep the truth out there while simultaneously giving them what they want so they go away. He's still trying to keep the truth intact, even though they keep pushing him. At one point, Wiegert asks him, what did he need help with? And Brendan responds with, probably to get rid of the body. That word probably is very telling, because if this had actually happened, he would not have said probably. He would have said to get rid of the body. The word probably is, he's guessing the story in Wiegert's head. And it's like he's trying to guess what the plot line is that Wiegert is feeding him about a story he's writing, Well, what do you think happens next, Brendan? Oh, he probably wants help getting rid of the body. Then Brendan says that he gave him the piece of mail and then left. At which point, Wiegert stops him and says, be honest, you went inside, didn't you? That simple little statement right there unravels everything. Because at this point, it is no longer Brendan just guessing. It is Wiegert and Fassbender flat out saying, you did this and this, didn't you? And Brendan just says, yeah, I did. Whatever the fuck you say, boss. Because by this time, he's got hostage syndrome. He's got Stockholm syndrome. He will say whatever he needs to say to keep his captors happy. At first, Brendan says that Teresa Halbach is handcuffed to the bed, but in later statements, he says she's tied up with a rope. Again, another clue that this is not a true statement, people. That detail would have stayed consistent. Fassbender then says, does he ask you? And Wiegert says he does, doesn't he? And they're talking about asking him to rape Teresa. Fassbender then says, do you remember the color of the handcuffs and the leg irons? This is the first mention of leg irons in the narrative at all, anywhere. And Fassbender fed it to him. Fassbender's the one who mentions leg irons. Brendan wasn't going to mention leg irons because at first he says she was handcuffed at the feet and the hands. Brendan may be at a 70 IQ, but he knows what handcuffs fucking look like, people. He would have said she was handcuffed at the hands and chained at the ankles. But he didn't. He said handcuffs. Fassbender's the one who fed him the leg irons because they had already found the leg irons during the search. Hello. Look through all the transcripts, people. Nowhere will you see the two words leg and irons put together anywhere in any of the transcripts prior to this point. That's how you know it's bullshit. Then he says, then he tells Wiegert and Fassbender that he rapes her, that Brendan rapes Teresa Halbach. And that he takes off his clothes, he gets on top of her, he rapes her for about 5 minutes, and then he gets off of her and puts his clothes back on. I didn't hear the word condom in there anywhere, did you? So if he didn't use a condom, his DNA would have been inside Teresa Halbach. At which point, during the course of events, that would have leaked out and onto the mattress. So where are the DNA reports from the mattress? Because if she was raped repeatedly, her DNA, Brendan Dassey's DNA, and Stephen Avery's DNA would be all over that mattress. Where is Teresa Halbach's DNA in Brendan's clothing? If he had sex with her, if he raped her and then put on his clothing, her vaginal secretions would have been on the inside of his underwear. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, I didn't think so because it doesn't fucking exist, folks. This is what I'm trying to say. Wiegert and Fassbender fed Brendan that entire narrative from beginning to end, and anybody who doesn't see that is a fucking moron. How you can't see it, I will never know. I mean, you have to be a special kind of stupid, like Nancy Grace. But the fact is here, folks, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Is there a possibility that Brendan Dassey and Stephen Avery raped and murdered Teresa Halbach? Yeah, there is a small one. Is it probable? No, not given the evidence. Not given the evidence, folks. But even so, a lot of this does not have so much to do with whether or not they did it as the complete and utter bullshit that was the investigation and the prosecution. I personally I don't believe that Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey did this. I don't. But I do think that there was planted evidence on the part of the police. I think that whoever did kill her planted evidence as well to make it seem as though an N. Avery, if not Stephen Avery, did it in order to cover their tracks. And I do believe that the entire state of Wisconsin prosecution team also knows that Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey had nothing to do with this, but it's easier to keep going with this bullshit than to admit they were wrong. That's what I believe. And until I see some hard fucking evidence to the contrary, I will continue to believe it. And I will continue to support Brendan Dassey and Stephen Avery. That's my video, folks. I will see you in my next one. And thank you for watching.